Gear to
All right, we are now live, boys and girls, men and women. All right. So we'll wait until we get a couple people in here. It's already said there are a few waiting, but I don't want to start spewing information to only a couple people that are in here. So, the Diamondbacks went up 2-0 on Arrieta too.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna see how that happened. Let me see here. Jake Lamb double scoring Pollock and Peralta. Damn. Oh man, I hate to say it. I think Puig got out, my man. Struck out. Damn. And now Ross Stripling's going to get out, and then Chase Utley's going to get out. And it's going to be a shit show. But anyway, all right. Or with my luck, Chase Utley hits a fucking dinger. And I mean, I never play Chase Utley. I'm beyond that. But all right, guys. So let me just share my screen here. I got some information brought up. We are live. Of course, I'm going to post this here. Let's see here. I don't think we're going to get as many people this week just because I didn't have a golf thread with a lot of people chopping it up. But all right. So, for everyone in here, let's just do a quick little breakdown of the course. Justin Turner just came in a pitch hit for Stripling. All right, well, that might do something. Anyway, here we go. This is the World Golf Classic Invitational, Bridgestone Invitational. Pretty much just means if you're not good, you're not being invited. This event, year after year, is just a showcase of the best golfers. Only about 75 guys each year. Some higher, a little bit lower, depends on withdrawals or pretty much just withdrawals. And last year, a little infamous withdrawal of Daniel Berger, a lot of people have heard about. You get 50 grand just for showing. By hitting your first shot off the tee, you get 50 grand, and because there's no cut. I should say that as well. There's no cut this week, so you're not gonna have to worry about that. But Daniel Berger hit his first tee shot and then withdrew. Got the 50 grand, then withdrew. A very dick move, but he did end up giving that money to charity later on, it turns out. So, real quick, we got a par 70, 7,400 yards roughly. Each day will be a little more or less depending on where the pin's placed. But doesn't even matter. 7,400 yards for par 70 is a very long par 70. In recent years, the bombers, the big hitters have won the event, with DJ winning last year. 2015, it was Shane Lowry, followed by Bubba Watson, who's a bomber. 2014, I'm not going to go too far back, but 2014 was Rory. 2013, Tiger Woods. So world-class golfers usually win this, except back in 2012 when it was Keegan Bradley. But in the last 4 years, it's been really good golfers. We did get Scott Piercy getting second last year, so take that as you will. But anyway, scores aren't going to be super high here. We're looking at maybe minus 12. I mean, the golfers are getting better each year. So we might get up to minus 15 this year, but it's not going to be a scoring fest like it was last week, where you got to have all your guys above minus 10 or better than minus 10 to even have a shot at cashing. So this will be a lot different, especially with a no-cut event. And I haven't shared my screen yet, you guys, but while I do that, ACP, give yourself a little intro or whatever you want to say, man.
Yeah, so I don't know how many people we have in here right now, about 5, but
yeah, just 5. I mean,
for those who don't know, like, don't think of this event as a normal event. WGC events are a little different than regular tournaments. For one, there's no cuts, so right off the back, that means you're not just going to want to find cut makers. You're going to want to find guys that score a lot of birdies or better, or eagles and stuff like that. I believe I'm not too familiar with the WGC format, but like you can't go past like double bogey or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I actually did not know that. I will.
So yeah, something I overheard. I don't know if it was double or triple bogey, but like once you get to that point, it's just like I don't know. Somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. But like David was saying, yeah, 66 automatically. So you're gonna want to find those guys who get those birdies or better. And obviously it's the top 70 plus golfers in this tournament, so I mean it's gonna be filled with talent. But yeah, let's get into it if you're ready.
Oh yeah, straight away. So real quick, guys, ACP pretty much said it. No cut is a bunch of scoring. So I made a quick little model here that I suggest everyone go to fantasynational.com. Seth and I have been touting it the last couple weeks, and it's just this week just in the last few days they released a new custom model projection. I'm sharing my screen, so you'll be able to see that I chose 5 stats to base my entire model around. This week I'm keeping it very simple. As I'm just looking at, as you can see, DK points, good drive percentage, greening regulations gained, strokes gained approach, and strokes gained tee to green. Those are the only 5 stats I'll be looking at. DK points, obviously, as ACP said earlier, you just need scoring, guys that can score. It's not going to be an abundance of scoring, but you want guys even to go birdie bogey. That's better than par, especially in this event. I will also say, before we get into the specific plays, that with there only being half the regular field, usually we get about 150 to 160 golfers at each event. This being a invitational, obviously they can control how many there are. And there's one event called the Hyundai. I can't remember. I just know it's sponsored by Hyundai. But only 30 golfers show up to that event. So imagine playing DK on that. Anyway, we got 75 golfers. So ownership, you do in big contests like the dog leg, you're going to have to look out for duplicates. But you shouldn't be using your full salary anyway. Maybe in cash, of course. But I highly suggest not doing that in big GPPs. Maybe 100 mans or small $3, $5. It's not a big deal. But in those huge tournaments that have more than 5,000 entries, I highly suggest spreading it out. The good news is that with these guys up top, we have 6 guys 10.2 or higher. And I see ownership being above 10% on every single one of them. So you'll be able to be spread out more than in other weeks, like especially last week when there were only 3 guys above 10K. So ACP's got to get going here pretty soon. So let's get straight into it. Just ACP, take it away, man. You can start wherever you want. I was going to say just 10K and up, but it's up to you, man. Whatever you want to.
Yeah. So we'll get right into it. We'll start with the 10K range. So this course is more suited for bombers, I would say. As we saw from previous winners like Dustin Johnson. So right off the back, obviously Jordan Spieth coming off back-to-back wins. He's going to be popular, and for good reason. If you're playing multi-entries, there's no reason to full fade Jordan Spieth at all. I would definitely play him. If you're more like me and only doing single bullets, that would be more of the merit of fading him. So I will be fading him this week, but that's because I'm doing a single bullet. If you're doing multi-entry, I'd call you crazy just to completely fade him. But if you're, some people, they just love the contrarian style, fully fade them. That's on you. Let me take you off your plays. But Jordan Spieth, obviously a good play. Now, Dustin Johnson, it's interesting to me. I don't know how much ownership he's going to garner. I mean, it's a smaller field, so everybody is going to have increased ownership. But if there ever was an event for Dustin Johnson to win, this event would be the one for him to come back with a win. If you go through his last tournaments, and the last time he actually won was the last WGC type of tournament they had in Mexico. So he's familiar with this course. Obviously, he's defending championship, and he's one of those bombers, and he knows this course well. And the last time he won was a WGC type of event, so he's familiar with the type of scoring here and the type of tournament format. So that's definitely a guy you want to look at. I don't know if I'm going to play him on my single bullet or not. Right now, I don't have him in, but I might find a way to try to fit him in. Rory too. He has good course history here. He just fired his caddy though, so it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. The caddies really, especially with guys who can get in their head at times, they can have an impact on how these golfers play. So it's going to be interesting to see how he is. It's Rory. He's one of the top golfers in the world. His course seems to be fit for him as well. So I see no reason why you wouldn't play him. Obviously, these guys are top golfers in the world. Any one of these guys you can play. And Ricky Fowler is another guy. Statistically, is this a great golfer. Do I see him winning this event? I don't know. So for that merit alone, I won't be playing Ricky Fowler in my single bullet. Actually, the current rough draft line I have right now, I don't have any of these 4 guys in my single bullet. But right now, if I had to pick between these guys, and like I said, I'm kind of leaning towards Dustin Johnson just for a single bullet. Jordan Spieth is obviously a guy coming off. He's hot. Definitely play him if you're doing multi-entry. Rory McIlroy is another guy. He has good course history here. So don't completely fade this guy if you're doing multi-entry. And Ricky Fowler is always a sleeper pick. Could this be the one that he wins? I don't know. But if I had to pick between these guys, definitely leaning towards Dustin Johnson. So what about you?
Yeah, all the way up top, if I had to choose one of those guys, well, out of the top three up there, actually, yeah, go ahead. You can finish, man.
I'm sorry. I actually just realized that since I am looking at my rough draft line, that includes people that I have drafted right now. So the people that I actually have drafted right now are Brooks Koepka, which we were just talking about a little bit before the show. He's probably going to garner more ownership than most people think, but I do like him for this course. He's a bomber. He last week or the week before at the major, he was showing signs of improved putting. So I definitely like Brooks this week. I definitely could see him coming out with a vengeance from the Open. And then I also have Hideki here, simply from a DraftKings perspective at 10,200. Obviously, he's the cheapest out of these studs. We talked about it the last time at the Open, how they kind of always price him the lowest out of these studs. But he's consistently, if not is the highest scorer over the last 7 events as far as DraftKings goes. So I'm definitely playing Hideki here. I believe he has pretty decent course history here as well. Stats fit on this course. So those two right now are my favorite, Brooks and Hideki, and then followed by Dustin. I'm gonna try to mess around my line, see if I can fit him. If not, then I definitely would be sticking with Brooks and Hideki in this top echelon. All right, go ahead, Dex.
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty much right there with you. I probably won't be playing Spieth, DJ, or Rory. Just a quick sentence about their Vegas odds. No one's moved from the last few days except Rory has actually moved from 9-1 to 10-1. So it goes Spieth 8, DJ 9, and Rory 10. At first it was just Spieth 8 and DJ and Rory 9. Obviously, that's not a huge jump. Any big line movement, so I'm not entirely worried about it. But I will say that I think that comes from the caddy being fired. I don't think with Rory having a 4th last week at the U.S. Open and a 17th before that, I don't think his odds would go down just out of the blue. It had to probably be in relation to the caddy switch, but I'm not going to take that into consideration. So if I did have to play one of those guys up there, it would be Rory. But similar to you, ACP, I am big on Koepka this week. My only thing is that was before I decided to run the model. I was just playing it straight from course fit. And he still is top 33 in all of my stats except for strokes gained approach. And that's in the last 12 rounds, which he's done very well. So he's still top 25 out of all the rankings. So I don't have a problem playing him. I do think Brooks will still be lower owned than Fowler under him. I would say Spieth as well. He's definitely going to be lower owned than Spieth just because the masses, they've seen Spieth just tear it up the last couple of weeks. So I can see Spieth being high owned. But anyway, yeah, just to speed up a little bit, Koepka for me up there. I do like Rory just because I think a lot of people are going to be off him in comparison to other guys. And I think he could destroy this course. This is a course where Rory can show. And especially with a little quote-unquote narrative, I guess you can call it, that only really good, superior golfers win this event. I mean, not every single year, but the majority than not are world-class golfers. So I do think, I will put it this way, I do think, Elvis Andrus is it, Tyrone Bomsky, but I do think that the winner comes from above 10K this week, personally. If not, I think it's John Rahm, but we'll get into that in a second. So, yeah, I like Koepka. Matsuyama just because he can score. I'm a little worried that he might not be able to do it this week. He is paired with DJ and another stud. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I don't remember.
I was just about to bring that up. DJ is paired with Brooks and Hideki.
Yeah, the studs pairing there. So there is. I will say this, though. Earlier in the year, there was a narrative I read on Twitter that Hideki in pairings like this, he actually underperforms. When he's the best guy in the group, he usually outperforms. But I don't want that to take you off of a play. I know it won't do that with ACP. I just don't want to make. I just want to make sure the general public out there that's not a big enough reason to just be like, oh, I'm not going to play him anymore. I mean, that's just something to take into account. So those are my plays there. You will not see any Ricky Fowler from me. You will not see any DJ or Spieth. The only guy I'm worried about there is DJ, to be honest. But I do have Rory, Koepka, and Matsuyama in my aim there. I haven't made a lineup yet, but my guarantee, if I do make more than one lineup, it'll just be in a 3-entry max or something like that. Guaranteed one of them is going to be in them. And I'll probably have Matsuyama in one and Brooks in the other. I'll figure it out. But those are the three I'm going to be choosing from when I go up top. And I'll just take it real quick from the 9.9 to 9. I only got two guys I'm looking at, and that's Henrik Stenson and Jon Rahm. Justin Rose would be in my crosshairs, I guess you can call it, but Rose just he's underwhelmed for me. He used to be the guy for cuts made, top tens, and all that good stuff. But his last few rounds, his last few tournaments, I think it was just actually the last two tournaments, I believe, but haven't been too well. So just Rahm, Stenson. Stenson is number one in the last 50 rounds in ranking for my 5 stats. Number one in good drives, number one in green regulations gain, number one strokes gained approach. So I'm going to play some Stenson. I think he's going to be one of the lowest owned in the 9K range. The only ones I think obviously would be Jason Day, maybe Matt Kuchar. I think a lot of people are going to be off him here, especially the sharps, I think, just because it's a kind of a long course. Matt Kuchar was dealing with some spells, some dizzy spells last week. And then no Sergio, just because he got married last weekend. Huge narrative that, man, whenever you get married, you're obviously getting wasted. So he had a hell of a weekend. If you followed him on Instagram or Twitter, he was doing all types of things, going on yachts. He was doing everything. So maybe that's extra motivation for him to win. But for me, I will be fading Sergio. He's at a great price, so I think he's going to be highly owned. But I will be playing Stenson and Rahm in that range. What about you, ACP?
Just want to add on to that Sergio narrative. Ricky Fowler was also at the wedding, and we all know how Ricky Fowler likes to party.
Oh, that's right. He was the groomsman.
Yeah, he was. But I mean, I'm not gonna obviously let that sway me on my picks too much. But that narrative is there. If they both kind of show up and don't seem like themselves, that's exactly why they were out there partying. But yeah, Ricky Fowler and Sergio are both there. Sergio coming off the wedding, so that could be positive motivation for him, or it could be negative. So that if you believe in the whole narrative side of it, then keep that in mind. If not, then Sergio, he's a great play at nine. This price, definitely can't. I can't say anything negative about Sergio. He's the Masters champion. His game definitely fits here. If you want to play him, play him. But that narrative is there, so don't be surprised if these guys do come out looking like a slump or whatever. Matt Kuchar is Matt Kuchar, great guy. Definitely gets a lot of birdies and can definitely hit long. He definitely is in play. If you're looking for these 9K range, anybody in this 9K range is in play. I guess Justin Rose would be like my least favorite guy in this range, just because how he's been performing recently, and just I don't see him winning this event. Now, knowing DFS, he's going to go out and win it. But personally, for me, I'm off Justin Rose. Jon Rahm is definitely one of those guys. If he's going to win an event this year, this could be the event. So I like Jon Rahm a lot. I won't personally be playing him in this field, but he definitely is worth merit. Henrik Stenson is a guy we kind of talked about a little bit before. You said he rated top out in your models. It definitely could be a sleeper pick, and surrounded by all this talent, he definitely can garner a lot of less ownership than a lot of guys in the similar range. So if you're looking for that contrarian play, Henrik Stenson is a perfect play for that. Paul Casey, it's Paul Casey. I won't be playing him, but he gets the job done pretty much. He's that type of player. If he gets a decent amount of birdies, I won't be playing him, but I could see the merit in playing him. But yeah, my favorite plays from this field, probably Henrik Stenson for a contrarian play. I don't like Henrik Stenson this year, but I do like him as a contrarian play. Jon Rahm is obviously Jon Rahm. And then Jason Day is definitely a sleeper. He's he's not really in decent form. He can't the T27 at the Open, so maybe he can be trending upward. Definitely will garner a lot lesser ownership since he burned people. At the Open, the Travelers hasn't looked too well, so he's another contrarian play in this range that could come out and just shoot lights out. So if you're looking for those contrarian plays, Stenson, Day, and then like the safer plays are Kuchar, and then Sergio, like you said, his wedding just happened, so who knows how he's gonna come out. So those are definitely my favorite plays from that range. Keeping it moving. We can get into the AK range unless you have anything else to add on to that.
No, I will say that I think if you are playing cash games, which I don't suggest this week just because there's no cut line. I mean, playing cash, I don't know. I don't see the merit of playing cash. But anyway, I just wanted to say Paul Casey at 9K. He probably won't win, but guaranteed to do well. I don't think he's finishes outside the top 25. That's all. I won't be playing him, but one of those guys that's just always there. So that's all I got there. You can go ahead down in the 8K range, man. Whatever you.
Apparently, RCB was at the wedding as well.
I believe that. Yeah, him. I remember watching the Masters. Him and Sergio had a good hug there. Like you could tell they were good friends. So,
Sergio seems to get along with a lot of these golfers. Also for pairings, as we talked about in the Open, sometimes pairings is a big factor. We got Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, and Jason Day. So that would be interesting to see how Day comes out with them, and especially how hot Spieth has been, especially with that putter. How Rory and Day, not in the best of form, but definitely showing glimpses of, especially Rory, how he comes out to match with this heater that Spieth has been on. But moving down to the 8K range here, people. So we got from Adam Scott. Okay, so let's do the 8K range. Just break it up again. All right. So personally, like I said, I'm doing a single bullet. So, right now, my favorite play, I never play Mickelson. So, me saying that my favorite play right now in the 7K range is Phil Mickelson is actually saying something. He has, from what I've seen, great course history here. He's coming off a cut right at the Open. So I don't know how Phil Mickelson's always popular. So I don't know what that's going to do for ownership. But I heard he really likes his course. I like him this week, and I never like playing Phil because he's always highly owned. So we'll see how that goes for me this week. RCB was at the wedding. I wasn't really on him anyways, but he's been in great form. Got a T4 at the Open. Luis is interesting. I play this guy a lot. Coming off the cut off the Open too, people are gonna have that sour taste in his mouth. So he might be lower owned than he normally is, and he's an amazing golfer. So if you're looking for somebody in this range to pick up, I would say play him. Oh, Jay Bruce has got a homer. Add him.
Yep.
Okay. People in this range. I mean, Patrick. Everybody's great golfers, guys. Any of these guys you could play really, and I wouldn't have don't play him. But people in this range at 7K. Russell Henley, man. I like Russell Henley this week, bro. I will be playing Russell Henley this week. The Open, he got T37, which is, not bad. But I just like the direction he's been trending upward. His stats, he has great stats. We all know this. He's had a win this year. I like Russell Henley this week. Who else in this range? Bubba Watson is Bubba Watson. He surprised me. Kind of surprised me last week. I mean, he got T42, but he was in contention for a lot of it. Round 2 is really what hurt him that last week. I don't ever play Bubba, and I won't be playing Bubba this week. But he's long. He's won here before, so I could definitely see the merit if you guys are looking for somebody in this price range to play. Bubba Watson is definitely a guy who's won here before, knows the course. There's a lot of guys in this 7K range, man. I mean, Charlie Hoffman, man. If we want to talk about fucking blowing a fucking tournament, bro, he should have won last week. And he got that second. So I don't know how he's gonna come out this week. After getting that second, either he's gonna bomb or he's gonna come out with a vengeance and try to come out hot. So Charlie Hoffman is definitely in play this week. I won't be playing him, my single bullet, but I can see the merit behind him. Kevin Chappell is another guy that I can see a merit behind playing him. I won't be playing him though. Um, Xander is a guy I've heard actually talked up some this week. Um, I have nothing bad to ever say really about Xander. This guy, he just seems to grind it out and always gets it done week by week. You know, he scores pretty decent in DraftKings. So if you want to play him, definitely play him. Duffner is a guy I heard talked up some. Duffner, I mean, I don't really have to say much about Duffner. Coming off of T14 at the Open Championship. He's a great golfer. You know, he got cut twice before the Open. So, you know, his form was looking a little shaky, but it'd be interesting to see how he comes out this week. Duffner at 7-2, you can't really go wrong with that. Kevin Kisner, this guy, I don't know what to make Kevin Kisner this week, especially in the stacked field. I won't be playing him, but I could see the merit behind it. It's been pretty good this year. Definitely can get some birdies. And he doesn't have to worry about the cuts. So, I mean, maybe he won't be as shaky as he normally is when those cuts start coming around or those final rounds. So we'll see about that. And then, yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I said, since I'm doing a single bullet, I really only have Russell and Phil right now from this field. But I definitely could see the merit behind like people like Brian Harmon, Charlie Hoffman, Xander, Kevin Chappell, Bubba Watson, Luis, and then yeah, those would be some plays that I like in this field. I know you probably got some that I didn't say.
Yeah, well, let me just get on that 8K range real quick. But real quick before that, I was gonna say something
Okay.
about this golf thing. I just forgot I was gonna say something. Yeah,
I'm,
what's up, man?
I'm sorry, I completely spaced out and went to the 7K.
Nah, no worries, man. No, sorry. I was looking through weather anyway because I'm gonna bring it up after we go through the plays. But it actually looks like, according to the weather here, it looks like it's going to be raining in the afternoon tomorrow. And a good way, I think, to vary. Wow, Corey Seager fouls out to Freddie Freeman. Oh my God, we're getting the donut. Corey Seager's just went 0 for 4, guys. Fuck.
He went over for yesterday.
My boy Trey Mancini just had a double though, and then Chris Davis scored him in scope. So it looks like I'm cashing. But anyway, it looks like it's supposed to start raining. According to what I'm looking at just on the official PGA website here, weather for the tournament. It's supposed to start raining roughly 2 to 3 p.m. Chance of rain's over 50%, so it looks like it is going to be raining. And guess who tees off first, boys? Bernd Wiesberger and Kyle fucking Stanley, boys. I am playing Kyle Stanley. That's way down the 6K range, but he's in my top 3 in my stats. He's right there. Anyway, let me get to the 8K range. I just think the weather could be important. If you guys wanted to separate yourself by like a way of separating yourself without just like, oh, let's leave $300 on the table just to be different. You don't want to do that unless your plays are good. But a good way to also try to vary yourself is by kind of stacking not a T group itself, but Derek Fisher just stole a bag for you if you stack them, man. But yeah, if you kind of stack a T area, like there's 3 or 4 groups in between an 8 to 10 a.m. range, and kind of just pick your favorite 6 from there. So if you have an add-on to that, and then I'll get in my AK plays if you have anything about the weather or whatever, man, because I heard you trying to get in there.
Yeah, no. Kevin Roth tweeted out a little bit of that since the field is all clustered in a 2-hour block for tee times, there's really no weather advantages to be had. But definitely, Kyle Stanley, first one to tee off on that Thursday. I was gonna talk about that later, actually, but yeah, I like Kyle Stanley. But I was just saying, because I skipped over his 8K range. I do like JT. Consistently coming off of 3 miscuts. Definitely gonna garner lower ownership, and we know what JT can do. And I do like Berger, and I like Adam Scott, but I think probably from that field, that range would definitely be like Berger or JT for me. But yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. Man, dude, they pulled fucking Godley after 7, and they leave Luke Weaver in to face the bottom of the 7th, man. Man, this is crazy. Anyway, I had full exposure to Luke Weaver, though, anyway, so it's all good. But anyway, I did want to, yeah, so very valid point, because I didn't even scroll all the way through the tee times there, so I didn't even see all the, that they were clustered like that. Oh, yeah, they're teeing every 10 minutes, and they're doing split tees like they normally do. Ah, fuck, Broxton doubled, boys. Anyway, okay, so in the 8K range, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple there as well. Not much to like there. I think this is overall going to be a dead zone. I will say that for contrarian's sake, I do really like Tommy Fleetwood this week. I think his stats do not fit my or his attribution of stats doesn't fit what I'm looking for. He's ranks 48th out of the 75 golfers in this event in my stats, but I might make a pass for Fleetwood at 8,400. It's a little cheaper than what I'm used to. He's been up at 9,000, 9,500. He was that price at a major at the Open, so I could play him. I think a lot of people are going to go to Berger a lot more than people think. He's too volatile for me. I won't be on him. He might want to make last year's debacle better by going out and doing well this event. Other than that, I don't see anyone in the 8K range really I like. I think Adam Scott's going to be chalk. He ranks 8th in my stats, in my stat ranking. No one in the 8K range is in the top 15. Daniel Berger is 16th. But other than him, there's no one even close. So Adam Scott would be my favorite according to my stats that I'm looking at this week. But I think he's going to be too chalky to play if you're looking for differential. And I think Fleetwood's going to be my guy for that. JT as well, long hitter, fits this course. Not in the best of form right now, but as we've learned the last couple winners, you can just turn your form around like fucking nothing. Johnny Vegas has missed 6 cuts in a row until he won last week. If it's first,
defending champ.
yeah, that's like the 4th time that's happened this year, which is like a PGA record. I think Berger did it once, Vegas did it, and there's been 1 or 2 more. But yeah, so an 8K rate, I think Leishman's a decent play, but I think his ownership's going to be pretty high too. Not sky high, but I do like him a little bit. Down in that 7K range, there's a lot of names, but as ACP said, I'm running a single bullet, maybe 2. But I'm going to be on Peters. I think it's risky. He doesn't fit my stats, but I don't want to die because of Thomas Peters. That's why I'm probably going to make 2 lineups, one with Peters. He's very volatile, hasn't been good recently. This year, he's pretty much been shit. He showed up at the Masters early in the year at like 3% ownership. And everyone's been trying to chase those points since. Yeah, other than him, guys I like, Kevin Chappell, who I shit-talked last week, and I felt bad because he went out there in top 5. Louis is very good for differential. He actually is top 15 in my stats. He is top 20 or top 50 or top 20 in strokes gained, tee to green, good drive percentage, and green and regulations gained. I really like that. And Ross Fisher down there pretty low at 7,200, top 15 in all my stats, 2nd in good drive percentage, so very accurate ball striker. Not very good in overall DK points scoring, but as long as he isn't getting bogeys, I think the birdies will come, at least enough to get a top 10, maybe top 15 for me. And that's in that 7K range. Kistner's the only other guy, according to my stats, that I'd be looking at. And then Henley and Duffner round out the top 20 in my stats. So I guess them, but that's too many names. If I had to give you guys my 3 favorites, 7K and higher, it would be Ross Fisher, who I was going to say Schwartzel, but he's so volatile that I can't do that. Chappell would be my 2nd, and then I would go Louis Oosthuizen as my 3rd. He'll be the lowest owned out of the 3 I named, I believe. Maybe Ross Fisher will be a little bit lower, but yeah, so
What do you think about Mark Leishman this week?
Yeah, Leishman, I like him. I like the price on him. I don't know if he will. I'm kind of neither here nor there. Like, he's not one of the guys that I'm like, all right, I got to go overweight on, but he's not a guy that I don't know. Like, I don't see him in my lineup right now, but if I came down to like 8,300 and I wanted to play a guy, I'd probably play Mark Leishman over Johnson, Noor, and JT even, and Berger, just because Berger is so much more volatile. But yeah, man, anyone in between 7.8 to 8.3, I'm probably playing Leishman. But I really like the upside of Louis Oosthuizen just because he's priced low enough to where if he top 10s, you're pretty much cashing unless you got someone real bad. But yeah, so that's me in the 7K range there. And Leishman's stats aren't too good. His best stat out of the 5 I'm looking at is 21st in DK points, which is pretty good, but 24th in tee to green. His worst is 44th in good drive percentage. Not terrible. Like Phil Mickelson is 70th in good drive percentage. So yeah, but Phil Mickelson's also 8th in DK point scoring. So JT, by the way, is 3rd. For those who want to know. So that's what I got. And then we can go down below 7K. My favorite, obviously, not Kevin Stanley, Kyle Stanley. And then, man, you can take the rest, and I got only a few more. So whatever you want to say. I know you like Kyle Stanley too, so I don't want to steal from you, but.
No. Yeah. So at this range, so I won't be playing him, but I've heard him talked about, and I can see the merit. Used to be one of my favorite plays. He's coming off 2 straight cuts. Brandon Steele. I won't be playing him this week, but he is long. He's a good scrambler. So yeah, I have no fault. I have nothing to say bad about Brandon Steele. If you want to play him, definitely play him 6,700. I can definitely see him showing up this week. Just I don't know. He's coming off 2 straight cuts. Maybe I just have a sour taste in my mouth from it. But if you want to play him, definitely play him. Jonathan Vegas is kind of interesting because coming off this win, like out of nowhere, I'm sure he's gonna garner more ownership than he should. I won't be playing him, but some guys, all it takes is that one win for them to start getting back into form. So definitely a guy you can look at. Molinari, also a guy you could look at. I won't be playing him. He just seems to be the type of guy that sticks around. But yeah, my favorite plays in this range though, I like Bill Haas. Yeah, coming off a cut too. It's open though. I mean, everybody got cut. But before that, T5 at the Open, T13, T37. He's I like Bill Haas, especially for his price this week. 6,900. Can't really go wrong with that. My favorite play, as you already alluded to, was Kyle Stanley. That guy is always my boy, and he will continue to be my boy. Great stats, obviously. Decently long, not as long as some of these big bombers, but he makes up with that with his excellent ball striking. At 6,700, you really can't go wrong with him. Also, he's like you were saying, he's the first one to tee up, and he's only going against Wiesberg in his group. He's not with another guy in his group. So that makes me kind of like him even more because Wiesberg is a great golfer, but Kyle Stanley is a better golfer. And I think if he's going head to head with somebody, he's gonna have that confidence of, oh, I'm just outperforming this other golfer that I'm with, and it should help him. Keyword should help him. So yeah, he's first one, so he won't really get too much of that rain either. Even though weather doesn't really affect people too much with this grouping. But yeah, definitely like Kyle Stanley. Can't say enough good things about Kyle Stanley. Yeah, Haas is cheap too. Yep, he's worth a spot definitely. Willing solid, like you were saying.
Adam Duvall just hit a dinger real quick, not to interrupt you, but in the top of the 9th with 2 outs. Whew.
Duvall, bro. Yeah, other pretty much down at this range, you're just looking at punts pretty much. Adam Hadwin is always curious every week. I mean, coming off 3 straight cuts, definitely not gonna have any ownership. This is a guy who's won it. I won an event this year. I won't be playing him, but if you want to punt, that's definitely a guy that I would not fault you for punting. Ryan Moore is definitely interesting. Definitely coming off 3 straight cuts. Another guy, definitely punt worthy. I won't be playing him, but definitely worth a punt. Other guys down here, Siwoo Kim is the ultimate punt guy. Coming off 3 straight cuts and a T13 at the U.S. Open. So this guy, oh my God,
either withdrawals or wins, boys.
So this guy either is in top 10 on Sunday or he's way back of the pack, plus 12. So that's your ultimate punt right there, Siwoo Kim. Pat Perez is a guy that earlier this year we would have been like 6,100 for Pat Perez. What? He's not in the best of form right now. 2 cuts and then a T149 at the Porsche European Open, so that's not good. But 6,100 for a guy with Perez's game, definitely you can see the merit in the punt. Zanotti is one of those, top European golfers. He's at 6,100. This is all punt plays. Definitely worth a punt down there. But yeah, my favorite plays in the 66.08. Actually, Wesley Bryan. Wesley Bryan, definitely is worth a punt. That's T3 at the John Deere. It wasn't that tough of a field. Uh, I don't like Wesley Bryan that much, but his name alone might garner him like a little bit of ownership. But yeah, my favorite plays in this range definitely Kyle Stanley, 6,700, Bill Haas, 6,900. Kyle Stanley when he was 6,700, he fucking this guy whenever he's low price, bro, he seems to show up the most. I don't know what it is. Players is when he was 6,700, he got T4, bro, and then at the Quicken Loans when he won, he was 7,600. So I like Kyle Stanley, Bill Haas in this range. What about you?
Right. Just real quick, I want to add on that these guys are playing for FedEx Cup points. It's kind of rigged. They shouldn't be, in my opinion, but they are. So some of these guys like Stanley, like Bill Haas, guys that don't really have the opportunity to really win these events. Not everyone's going to be as serious as a major or even a normal event because they're not really playing, like they are playing for these FedEx points, but they're not really playing for any incentive. They get 50 grand for showing up. Bang. That's it. You hit your first tee, 50 grand. And that's why Daniel Berger withdrew and just caused a whole shitstorm last year. But I like all those names you mentioned. I do. When I'm looking at punt plays, I'm just going to rely completely on my stats. I don't want my head to get, or like my bias to get into it. So I just ranked all my guys for everyone that's looking at my screen here. I will favorite all the guys below 7K that are in my top 50. And I am actually, beforehand, I was actually going to play most of these guys anyway. So we got Kyle Stanley, who's second total in all my stats at only 6,700, sandwiched between Stenson and Paul Casey. Then we have Molinari, who's been playing absolutely shit. His course history for this event is the worst in the field as well. Like absolutely the worst in the field. So very risky play, but with how golf has been so volatile the last couple of weeks, this is the event he shows up at. So I am not going to lie to you. I am probably going to place a Molinari, top 20 in all my top 5 stats, 14th in DK points, 4th good drive percentage, 3rd strokes gained approach. So 9th tee to green, all top 10s there. So I love that. Then just to speed up a little bit, because ACP's got to go real soon. I got down. Let me scroll down in my 23rd rank. That's Ty Hatton, who's also been a complete dumpster fire recently. I probably will not be playing him. This is the one time where he doesn't stand out in any of the stats. He's top 40 in all 5, but he's not top 20 in any of them. So I won't be playing him. Then we got, as ACP mentioned, Bill Haas, who I also like. The only problem with him is he doesn't score that much. He's kind of one of those par guys, par fest guys like Kevin Streelman. But with a no-cut event, you'll see him take more risks, I do believe. So I can get behind some Bill Haas. Top 20 in good drive percentage and green regulations. Not too good at DK points, as I mentioned. He's only 46th, as he mainly is a par guy like Furyk and Streelman. So I still can get behind him here with no cut, as it'll make him take more risks. Then Grillo at 6,900. He's another shitbag. I played him at the Open, and he was plus 10 on Saturday. He missed the cut. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? 8th in good drive percentage, not in the top 30 in the other 4, so I probably won't be playing him. Billy Ho, 5th in good drive percentage, 3rd green and regulation gain, 2 of my favorite for the week. I can get behind some Billy Horschel. He's a very good putter as well, but putting is very volatile. Then we got Brandon Steele. I'm not going to go if their stats aren't looking too good, which his aren't. The only one in the top 20 is tee to green. I can get behind some of him, though. His odds, I should mention, on some sites, so it's real crazy. I just looked at some Vegas odds. So on Bovada, he is still 150 to 1, but on, I think it's Bet365, he is 80 to 1. So huge discrepancy there. I think Brendan Steele is going to be the chalkiest guy under 7K, personally. Then I like Harold Varner, 12th in strokes gained approach. Nothing else really good there. Then it's Bryson DeChambeau, Pat Perez, Adam Hadwin, Ryan Moore. I know I'm getting to a lot of names, guys, but I'm cutting it off right here at Wesley Bryan at 6,400. All of those guys at 6,900 and lower are in my top 50 rankings of my top 5 stats. Just real quick to see if any of those stand out. Ryan Moore's top 20 in good drives and strokes gained approach. Adam Hadwin is not top 20 in any of the 5. Pat Perez is not top 20 in any of the 5. Neither is Bryson. Hudson Swafford as well. I skipped over. He's top 10, exactly 10th in green and regulations gained, not top 20 in anything else, though. And then Varner, as I mentioned, 12th in strokes gained approach. So I know it's a lot of names. If I had to give you 3, if I had to choose my favorites, I hate to say Brandon Steele, but he's going to be chalky. But I'm going to say him. I hate to recommend him because he's been an absolute dumpster fire, but I can't let these stats veer me away. I'm going to say Francesco Molinari. Guys, don't be surprised. His course history is literally the worst in the field. It's a complete leverage play. There's no cut. If he doesn't need to worry about a missed cut, I don't know. It doesn't look good, but I'm going to play him. I'll say this. I don't recommend you guys play him unless you're willing to either get a top 10 in the tournament or get last. And that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to play some Molinari. And then, of course, my favorite, Kyle Stanley. So it's Kyle Stanley, Molinari, Brandon Steele would be my 3 under 7K. And if you wanted to get off Brandon Steele, who is chalky, my little 3B, I guess, or 3A, you can call it. I'll go with Bill Haas. It was between him. Where'd he go? It was between him and Varner, actually. But I do think, I know I'm bringing up another name, but Pat Perez is so sneaky. It's 6,100. You just don't, as long as he doesn't blow up, it's 6,100. You can get almost anyone you want. So that's what I got. You will not see anyone else down there. So you will not see any Jimmy Walker from me. I know some people are talking him up, but no Jimmy Walker. And then after that, it just turns into a shit dumpster fire. I will say this real quick. Mackenzie Hughes from Canada, a little narrative. He went to school at Kent State University, which is 20 minutes away from the golf course. He did say in an interview earlier this week that Mackenzie Hughes has played this course before. He enjoys it, but he has not played in this tournament. He's not played with these guys, with DJ, Spieth, Rahm, Hideki, Brooks, all these studs. He has not done that, so take that with a grain of salt. I'm not playing him at all, but if you want to get behind a guy that might know the course at under 6,500, you're not going to get much worse than Mackenzie Hughes, because under 6,300, you're shitting bricks anyway, except for I think Pat Perez might be your best luck down there. So I know ACP will run a little overtime there for you, but any final things or anything you got to say before we sign off here, man?
When you guys, like we were saying, guys, when you guys are making your lineups, man, you got to think a little different this week, because there are no cuts. So you want to get those guys who are going to make a lot of birdies, eagles, preferably, maybe even hopefully a lucky hole-in-one to break the slate. But yeah, definitely just rethink your roster construction building a little bit more. Like I always preach, we want to think about who's going to score DraftKings points and not necessarily who's going to win the tournament. But yeah.
Oh man, I think the Dodgers are about to lose, man. Yeah, God damn it, man. Tyler Flowers had 2-run bomb last inning.
I hate the Braves, bro. Like, they always show up against the Dodgers. Like, I don't get it, dude.
It's just nuts, man. Especially Julio Teheran. Are you serious? This dude got shelled by the goddamn Padres, man.
They're coming off 6 straight losses, bro. 6.
Oh man. Yeah, dude. All right, but yeah, so that's honestly all I got. I will say this. I know you made a very valid point with the weather narrative. There is no real weather narrative, so because they are teeing up so quickly. There's 6 guys going every 10 minutes on split tees, the first tee and the 10th tee. So everyone should be off, especially with only 70 guys, as ACP said. It's going to be 2-3 hours max. I mean, usually they do go about 20 minutes after their scheduled tee time, just because Jordan Spieth takes 20 minutes to hit a shot. So, but anyway, I really think it could be sneaky stack. Like, I don't know. It's all up to your individual person, but I think I'm going to make, you know what? I think I'm going to go 3 entries deep in the 3 entry max, except this time I think all right, guys, I don't want to go into a whole lesson here, but, or my thoughts here, but I prefer to join the 3-entry max. It's like a $3 or $5, and I hope there's no $1, but I'll join the $3 and the $5 just in case you can win both with that with two different lineups. If you put both into one entry, your EV is not there. I know it's rare that you're going to win two tournaments with two different lineups, but it can happen, and I like to just throw one in the 3, one in the 5. A $2 difference isn't a big deal. I'm not playing for min cash anyway, so I have been doing that. In baseball, I've done that. I just joined a 3-entry max with two lineups, one in the 5, one in the 3, just for variance sake. But anyway, I am going to stack one lineup with the early morning Thursday guys that I like. Leads off with Kyle Stanley. Then in the next group, it's Kisner, Molinari, perfect. Ross Fisher, perfect. I like that. No studs tee off real early, it doesn't look like. Oh, Rory, Jason Day, and Spieth tee off at 8-10. So the third group. And then the fourth group, it's Koepka, DJ, and Matsuyama. Perfect. All right. So that I am going to have one lineup where I have guaranteed either Brooks or Hideki. I won't be going DJ. I do like Woodland as well. Someone mentioned in chat earlier about Woodland. I do like Woodland. We didn't mention him, but he's very volatile. Recently, he's been doing better, but he's been hit or miss recently. So that's what I've got, guys. I am going to make that one lineup from the 8 a.m. tee times. Pat Perez is in there, too. I love that. It could be sneaky. Other than that, that's all I got, guys. I hope we all got some green screens. Next week, we got the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in my home state of North Carolina. It's going to be going on in Charlotte. Rory is the favorite just because he destroys Quail Hollow. We have another Millie Maker coming up, of course, as we do every major. And let me shut up now so ACP can get going. Any final words, my man?
Just good luck, guys.
Amen. All right, everybody. So we'll see you guys next week. We might make a weekend lineup, there's no weekend lineup. I'm zooted, man. No cut. That's right. I don't even remember that. But anyway, no cut this week, guys. We'll see you guys next week. We'll have a video. Hopefully Seth will be here, and we will. We should have a bunch of green screens. So best of luck, everybody, and y'all take care.
Peace, guys.